Welcome to another exciting edition of Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Paperboy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
Today we're going to kind of talk about some of the finds we've had out there and some of the things we've missed out on. And this kind of goes into a couple of different sections. I'm going to start off with, we're going to call it the young section. And by that I mean is when we were young, the things that we saw and could have gotten. For example, probably the best deal I ever got in my life, but it doesn't really count because I wasn't in business at the time. Back in the 1980s, you could buy card boxes. Do you remember the card boxes that had the big black X on them?
Yep.
Basically what had happened is they were returns, I believe, from the retail stores and all that thing back to Topps. And Topps would take them. And from what I hear, you used to make a bid and you would buy an entire tractor trailer full of stuff. A rumor I heard was it was sight unseen. So you weren't really sure what you were buying. You were buying an entire tractor trailer full of returns. And in the early 80s, we would go out to card shows and all that kind of thing. And here's Bo. Remember that card set?
Yeah.
Tons of those were out there with the big X on them. And the X was on there so they couldn't be returned again. And I actually remember one. Here's Bo came out because Bo Derek was in the movie 10, as you remember. One dealer wouldn't sell me the cards. Wouldn't allow me to buy a pack of the cards. Oh, no, you can't buy that. I was like 15 at the time, and they wouldn't let me buy the pack.
Crazy.
So you would find things like the 81 Topps football cards. Those were definitely returned. You almost never found baseball returns, but the football returns were regular. There were always hockey returns. Mike Bossy rookie year, I probably bought, I don't know how many boxes of those and could have bought how many ever more. Those things were out there. You could buy them all the time. So we're talking...
They were cheap, too. $5-10 a box.
$10 is how much the dealers would charge for a box. And you would go to the shows, and every once in a while, new cards would be there because they would be the returns that So basically what happened is somebody in the Cleveland area would buy, or somebody maybe in Detroit, whatever, would buy an entire tractor trailer full. Then they would sell off stuff to a dealer somewhere else who would wholesale it out to other people. Right. Eventually, it would trickle down to the boxes at your local card show. Best one I ever got, Wayne Gretzky rookie year hockey, $10 for a box.
Nice.
Foolishly, I opened it, got a Wayne Gretzky out of it that I still have. I have to find that at some point, get that graded because it came out of the pack and went right in the set. So I know everybody always says everything is mint.
Yeah.
This should be. I mean, I literally took it out of the pack and put it away over there. They had two boxes. I bought one. My cousin bought one. He got two Wayne Gretzky's out of his box.
Nice.
Imagine had I kept it unopened.
Oh, geez. Is it 50,000?
I have no idea what a deal that would have been. But that's the pre-dealer days. Those are just the things, And if you go back in time, and who knows? I'm sure I could have bought Amazing Spider-Man 129 on the shelves. All that kind of stuff. So I'm not really counting those kind of deals.
Right.
So why don't you tell us the best deal that you've ever really gotten?
Well, I think it stands out. You know what it is.
I do know.
Probably, it's got to be 15 years ago, I would think, right? And a gentleman comes in and he did, I think, house cleanouts. And he acquired two banker boxes full of photos. And I didn't know what kind of photos at the time. He came in with them. I started sifting through them, and they're all golf photos, old golf photos. Anyone you can think of from, I think, 1930s or 40s, from, to the 80s, Lee Trevino, Nicholas, Hogan, anyone you can think of. And I think at the time he wanted $500, right? Offered $500. Any which way, I paid $500 for him.
Which, and to kind of throw a little in there, certainly at the time we weren't versed at all, but you don't, as a general rule, deal in photos.
No, I just knew two boxes, thousands of golf photos had to be worth $500. I mean, it's pennies a piece or whatever it came out to be. And once Paperboy, is interested and says, I'll give you that for it, I know it's hot as a pistol. And that's when I say, nope, I know better. I had to read his mind that I have a potential gold mine here.
I was going to give you $502.
Yes,
come on, $2 profit. How do you go wrong?
Plus, I think my father was there, and my dad wouldn't let it go because he liked Nicholas and Palmer and all that. So
if it makes you feel any better, had I bought it, it'd still be sitting in the garage somewhere.
That's true. So we end up learning about golf photos, AP wire photos, and whatnot because the majority of them were the AP wire photos, and some ended up being worth a lot of money that we had no idea.
What was the best one out of there?
Oh, geez, there was a bunch of Hogans.
Wasn't there a Bobby Jones?
Oh,
in there?
and Bobby Jones. Those are the biggest ones. Bobby Jones. Yep.
Yep.
And they went for thousands of dollars a piece, and honestly, probably grossed 50,000 out of the deal after a few months of listing. I think we listed almost all of them and got them all on there, and it was just crazy. But that's a once in a lifetime opportunity, really.
It makes you wonder too. Makes you wonder a couple of things. Makes you wonder where the gentleman first accumulated them. If he was a collector and he had just bought them throughout the years, why they were left in the house. Perhaps he passed and whatever. Who knows? And also makes you wonder what was in the house that didn't find its way to your store, but instead found its way to the landfill.
Yeah, there must have been other golf stuff. You wouldn't just have golf photos.
Or other photos of other sports. Perhaps
Right,
the guy grabbed baseball photos and knew a buddy that liked him.
Yeah.
Or so who even knows what had
Right,
happened to him?
True.
I've got nothing anywhere near that exciting, of course, but I've got two deals that really stand out in my mind. And the funny thing is they both came from the same auction. And they tend to be more Joe Six-Pack, Joe Lunchbox kind of deals. And by that I mean they're not over the top by any means, but they are the kind of deals that you really can find out there. So I went to an auction, and one of the things you can tell from auction, well, let me ask you this. How can you tell when something is dealer stock?
A lot of it. You're talking about like quantity of the same stuff.
Not necessarily. Well, the same types of things. All has prices on it, all written in the same handwriting.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times it'll have a dealer number on it from
Right.
where it went to. So I was at an auction, and they had kids books, and they had these kids books in I can't really there I am. Geez, way longer than that. I had kind of counted one of the boxes, and there were about 100 kids books in the box. All priced up, whatever, $3, $4, $5, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm looking in there, and I've said, oh, geez, they got about 10 of these boxes. Okay. So she brings the first lot up, and she's a very fast auctioneer, but she brings things up $25, $25, $25, $10, $10. So I raise my card, $10. Yeah, sure. Maybe I got a career in auctioning after I get done with this
There you
gig. So I hold my card up at $10, and I won it. And I win one box, roughly 100 kids books in it. A couple of minutes later, wherever it was, she brings up another box. 25, 25, do I hear 10, 10? I raise my card, $10. By the end of the auction, she actually literally said, you're supposed to look happy when you win something. I won all 10 boxes at $10 a box. So
Nice.
I picked up, for $100, I picked up 1,000 kids books plus 10% buyer's premium. There were, of course, as there always are, some $30, $40 books in there. A lot of them are $4, $5, $6 books. I listed them on Amazon. No big deal. I probably sell 2 to 3 a week, which, when you think about it, I put a dime into each of those books. I've made my money out of them how many ever times over.
Right.
And every week I'm picking up another, after expenses, even if it's another $2, $3, $4, $5 every single
Right.
week off of that deal. I think I'm down to 400 or so books left. So I've sold 600 of those books. And that's the kind of thing you can find out there. No dealer knows everything. So there were some very good books in there, some $40, $50 books in there that the dealer had no idea were good. And I think the fact they were dealer stock, and you're talking, 6 Ten Commandments books, 8 of, the Flintstones Go on a Picnic books.
Yeah.
I think that scared people away by the sheer volume as well. Because most people, what am I going to, this dealer couldn't sell 1.
Right.
How am I going to sell 6? With the internet, you still can. And that was a good deal. The other deal that I want to talk about is from the same auction house, different auction. They are not wire photos, but they're very, very similar. They're very, very thin stock World War II photos that were basically, from what I can figure out, and actually this is funny, you bought the big giant originals, if you remember right, from Dispatch Photo Service.
Oh, yes.
They're 1940s photos. Did you end up selling those? I believe you did, correct?
A lot of them, yeah. And they were all sorts of airplanes, sports figures, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
So what it was is it was like a precursor or went against AP and all that sort of thing. And they would send these photos out over some sort of a machine and it would print out on the other end. Well, he actually had the originals photos type deal, and I actually had the thing that came out on the other end. And it was kind of funny, actually. I got contacted through eBay from the person that saw I had a lot of them on, asked if I would be interested in buying the originals. Wasn't something I wanted to deal on them. I turned them on to Mr. Magazine, and he ended up buying those. So that worked out well for him as well as that. But they're very, very thin stock, but they show various pictures from the war with writing up on the bottom of them. America takes Serbia, whatever the case happens to be, with a write-up on it. And I guess it was supposed to go in the newspaper or wherever it was supposed to go. I paid, $40 or $50 for a box filled with, it'd be about this many of them. We're talking these things are thinner than a piece of paper. So I don't know what I picked up, 400, 500 of them in there for $40.
Yeah.
Again, not the kind of thing that I deal in. And there really weren't any on eBay. Very hard to find anything out about the company, but did very, very well on that deal. So when you have a chance to buy something in bulk, even if you don't know a lot about it, but it looks interesting. I mean, It's World War II. It appeals to the photo collectors, et cetera, et cetera. I still sell probably one every other week of those, and I'm getting $15 a piece out of them, something rather like that. For what I paid on them, and they're long been paid for, it was just a wonderful deal on that over there. So as I said, nothing exciting like your deals as far as big money, but more the you make money every single week kind of deals.
Sure.
Now, I know you've picked up some great deals. Ever miss out on anything?
I have, yes.
Really?
You buy enough. I like to win them all.
There's something in Rochester greedy. You didn't buy?
I'm greedy and competitive, but sometimes I'm not perfect. But where do I begin? We'll go back, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. I think you know this situation where maybe I was younger or cockier or not, or more standoffish maybe with some customers, or it could have just been a bad day. But a customer came in. I guess he had an extensive autograph collection. And I guess
this was the boxing gentleman?
Yes.
Yep. And I had dealt with him. He would call me about once every 3 years. He would call me to come by his house, and he'd have a pile of stuff and come up with the price. And his prices were fair, and I made money on the deals. And he was a good guy to sit down and talk to. Unfortunately, he's passed. But go ahead.
And so I guess he came in. I was at my desk. I think I was tied up in work. And like I said, it may have just been a bad day because I generally like to buy inventory. And he had a big autograph collection. And for whatever reason, I don't know, I don't even think I made an offer. I wanted to see the stuff. I don't think he brought the stuff in. But nevertheless, he did not sell to me. And he had told Paperboy that I wasn't friendly or something like that. And he ended up selling it to my competition up the road, which, that irks me a little bit. So from now on, I make sure I'm very friendly and embrace the customers and don't lose out on any deal, especially to my competitors.
Yeah. Probably the one that I remember, and this is again going to be pre-dealer days, but I still kick myself over it. Early 90s, didn't have a lot of money, and I would go to the various, about once a month, I believe it was, they held a card show down over on Lexington Avenue, as I remember. I don't know if you remember that show or not. And I would go around, and a guy, it was basically sports cards. Well, a guy had comic books, a box of comic books, that tall of a box of comics. Wanted $35 on the box. So there had to be 75, 100, 125 comics in there.
Yeah.
Comic on the top, Incredible Hulk 181.
Oh, jeez.
Now, at the time, that was about a $50 comic. I didn't have $35 extra to my name. I was that strapped at that time that spending $35 would have been a major investment for me. So I was like, I really should buy that because that's a cool comic on top. And I don't even know what else is in there.
Right. Yeah. Jeez.
I mean, I think I looked through enough of the first few comics to make sure there wasn't, it wasn't like Incredible Hulk 181, X-Men 94, Giant Size.
Right.
Okay,
Sure.
I'd find $35 at that point. But I think I did a quick enough look to know the rest of the stuff was just kind of common stuff. But and he obviously put the best comic on the top figure, and I want to get rid of this whole pack.
Right.
And people used to do that. That's how I got my Kareem Abdul-Jabbar rookie card, as a matter of fact. People would take and sell commons, a stack of commons, and it was like 50 commons, something other like that, from whatever Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
Yeah.
rookie year, and put a good card on top. So they put the Jabbar on top, and they wanted $15 for it, for the whole stack.
Right.
And, I'm a kid at the time. I had to be, 13, 14 years old. $15 was a fair amount of money, but I
Sure.
remember buying that and being all happy. Oh, and it's got a crease on it, whatever.
Yeah.
But still, it's probably worth more than the $15 that I paid for it.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
So just to know that there are some deals out there that are great deals. And a lot of times you'll see people trumpeting the, I picked this up for $12 and it's worth $5,000.
Right.
And great, those do happen. They definitely do happen out there. But you're probably more realistically going to make the deals where, again, you make $3, $4, $5 a week, but you only paid $100 for the whole thing.
Right.
You double your money after 1 year. It's all profit. Second year, you make another couple $100, a couple $100 third year. I mean,
Sure.
I know for a fact that I bought those in 2015, those books.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been making $3, $4, $5 a week since 2015.
Right.
Can't go wrong with that. It's well paid for itself, and that's the kind of deal that you really can find out there. And don't kick yourself over the deals you miss. I mean, I'm sure an Incredible Hulk 181 is not worth much more than $35 nowadays, is it?
3,500 maybe, or 35,000 depending on the condition.
I'm sure it was VG only, so
Sure.
it's not too bad of a deal.
Right.
So good luck to you out there. Share some of your finds and some of the things you passed on down below if you could. We always love to hear about that. And if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome. And just like this video, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye bye.